Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and I'm currently live right now as of this recording. I've been doing some testing with this blue and yellow Nami deck that I've crafted up. I think it's pretty original. I haven't seen anyone build a list like this. At least I didn't borrow it from anywhere. This was just something I've been thinking about, like the synergies with Nami and some of the Supernova stuff. So I ended up playing on stream today. We went like 13-3, something like that. We were pretty positive in the win rate. Obviously, this is like day 0 of the format. It also wasn't with the new star deck stuff, so there's a lot of like, there's a huge asterisk next to that win rate, but honestly, I had a lot of fun with this. I thought this was a pretty viable build, and I kind of just want to go over my thoughts and kind of the gameplay for it too. So if you guys want to see the deck in action too, you can find it linked in the description. I did just do a large live stream that's going to end as soon as this is going to be done recording, so you can check that out, and there will be some gameplay. So first, if you guys don't know, what does Nami do? So it's a new leader from OP11. It says your turn, once per turn, you may activate this effect when a life leaves any area. You get to draw one card if you have 7 or less cards in hand. So pretty easy to get this card draw, and there's ways to get a lot of cycle early. And also, Dawn times 1 on an opponent's attack once per turn. You may trash one card from your hand. This leader gets plus 2k power during this turn. So it gets to be a 7k defensively, very easy. You do get to use some of your Dawn to, you have to attach a Dawn to it, which is sometimes expensive, which means that there were some cards that, help you do that. I know a lot of people were playing 2-drop Teach, which we'll talk about in a little bit for like some alternative cards, but I think this is a pretty solid leader, and it just works really well with the Supernova package based on my experience. So honestly, I'll just kind of talk about like the actual interaction that made me think about this deck was this 3-drop Bonnie. As a blocker, on play, you may add one card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand. Then you get to add up to one Supernova's type character with a cost of specifically 5 from your hand to the top of your life cards face up. So the yellow Supernovas with costs of 5 are specifically Luffy and Uruj. These are the only two. These are the only two that exist right now in the card game. There's a lot of green 5k or 5-drop Supernovas. There's also no blue 5-drop Supernovas in this game. So because of that, these are the only two cards it works with. But honestly, this Luffy loves to be into your life. The fact that you can then go into a 7k leader offensively, and then with leader effect a 9k leader defensively is just really, really, really good. So that's helpful. That's kind of what the original idea for this deck was, that this is really good. If you play this on 3, this does let you draw a card, right? Because you get to put the Luffy into your life. You take a card out of your life, not in that order, and you're able to then get the card draw because a card left a life area. Doesn't mean like you take damage, doesn't mean or anything like that. As long as you, like, if you cycle cards, you get some card draw. So that also means Hiyori gets that effect. That also means that Beige gets the effect too. Both these effects are just really, really strong for helping us do that. So the other thing to kind of note is that this can be used very aggressively. So another card that just kind of works for this is the Trafalgar Law. This is a promo from like the first set. It's promo 009, and it's a very old card, but it says on play, if your opponent has 6 or more cards in their hand, your opponent adds 1 card from their life area to their hand. So what that means is that you can play this card and they take the damage, and then you get the card draw, which is very good. It's usually pretty easy for your opponent to have 6 or more cards in their hand, unless they're just really aggressively getting out of your attacks, which sometimes they are, but if not, this damage cuts very consistently. And the fact that this is searchable off the 1-drop Luffy, I think, is really strong in this deck. So there also are just some kind of scenarios where you want to be able to have like Supernovas in your hand for specifically the 7-drop Law. So on play, reveal up to 1 Supernova's type character card from your hand, add it to the top of your life face down, then give up to 1 rested Dawn card to one of your Supernova type leaders. So unfortunately, Nami is not a Supernova. If we could attach the Dawn to Nami with this, I think this deck would have probably been discovered a little bit earlier, because it's a really good interaction. But even without it, just the fact that we have a heal in this deck is really great. The fact that we can use it on 10 Dawn, so we can do Law for 7, we can put the 5-drop Luffy to the top of your life, and then you can use the 2-drop Luffy to play it out and still have 1 Dawn for your leader. So you get to get out 2 bodies, you get to not heal, like you don't lose life because you healed 1 with Law, and then also your leader's an 8k aggressively and can be a 9k defensively by discarding 1 more card. So we are running a good amount of bricks, but it doesn't really matter when you can turn pretty much any card in your hand into a 2k, as long as you have a Dawn attached to your leader, which is very good. We also have 8-drop Kid, which is also a searchable Supernova that also gets you some burn damage. So really what this says is that, you know, deal 1 damage, draw 1 card, and then you get to draw 1, trash 1 too. So essentially this card saying draw 2, trash 1, as long as your opponent's at 2 or less life, which is pretty common by the time you play this, it's just like a really good body that your opponent has to respect, and then can do some damage against specifically like blue purple Luffy. So I think this deck is really good against that deck specifically. As part of the reason is that we do a lot of burn damage, and also we can play Pudding to really mess up their hand and get some good chances to either one, get rid of Giant from their hand, or even just make them discard cards and recycle them, especially if they're trying to cycle for good things. I think Pudding can be really strong for this. So other than that, it's just kind of how the deck works. You can definitely watch some gameplay of it working too, but by and large, I think there's just a lot of great synergies with this deck in general. So other cards, like we're playing the new Zeus, which this card's fine, right? It's not like the best card, it's not like the worst card, but for the deck, I maybe even do like a 3-3 split with Hiyori, since, you know, they're about the same. I don't normally use a lot of effects to put cards into my life for like the Luffy effect. Sometimes it comes up because then, you know, just by doing that effect, you get the free card draw from your Nami anyways. So sometimes that's helpful. It really just kind of depends on what deck we're playing against and how we're doing it, but Zeus can be really strong there. Red Rock is fantastic late game, especially if we've already established like a 7-drop law or a useless kid. This being able to out pretty much any card that exists is good, and then we can still, like, you know, play some cards, play out a blocker Bonnie. So there are like some weird scenarios where you can Red Rock for 6, play Bonnie for 1, get the cycle with Luffy to get another draw 1, and then still be a 6k leader that can turn into a 7k leader defensively, which is really good with still having a blocker on the board. We also have the Gum Gum Red Hawk. This is a new card from OP11 as well. It's kind of like the Divine that we get for Red from last set. And I think every color almost gets one of these now. But main, you can rest 3 Dawn cards if both players total is at 5 or more. You get to KO one of your opponent's characters, the original cost of 5 or less. So really good against green purple Luffy because they can't buff it to get rid of it, so that's very strong. And then also counter up to one of your leaders gets plus 3k power, so it's pretty easy to leave one open. You know, being a 9k leader that also can get like a plus 3k is great. We do go kind of hand minus, but we have so many ways to draw with Nami that we don't really feel that as much. So other than that, I think this deck is pretty good. This is a pretty solid 50. There wasn't really any big complaints for it. I do think that this is still like an unexplored deck, and I wasn't doing like any like super duper serious testing, so again, the big asterisk, I don't think that this is a solid deck outright, but this is kind of what it looks like. So a couple additional cards though that I was thinking about for the deck, and I need to add 2 more because I was thinking about it as we were recording the first part. Teach also, I know a lot of people play that, as well as Newgate. The Newgate can be a really good effect too. So a couple synergy. One, we just have a couple more supernovas. There's not that many more that I would consider, but I do think that the Hawkins is like a good add, just because it is like the trigger from it is really great, and then also your opponent doesn't really want to get rid of it either, so that's kind of strong for you. I know a lot of people play Teach, and I don't hate this card, though I do think it's a little bit expensive to set up. Being able to have Dawn underneath your Nami leader every turn is good, but the cost of like putting a card to the top of your deck does get a little bit expensive, not only for like you go -1 in a card, but it means you go 1 less deep into your deck every turn, which does kind of add up once again. So if you're trying to look for something specifically, this has like negative synergy for it because you're seeing less cards into your deck, if that makes sense. But I don't think it's a bad card. I know a lot of people play it, so you can definitely do that as well. We do have like this 1-drop beige, which helps you find, this is just from the set, but it's a Supernovas, so you can use this to, you can play 1-drop Luffy to find, let me double check, is it just anything. So you can use this to find beige, then beige can then search something, so like double searches are pretty good. This 2-drop beige, and a lot of people are talking about too. Being able to have this as just a blocker that lets you put a card into your life instead is good, especially if that card ends up being like 5-drop Luffy. I also forgot, I'm just going to keep adding cards as I think about it. Shirahoshi 2-drop blocker is also not a bad card either, just as like some small blockers for the deck. I know a lot of people play Vivi, but I think in this build it's a little bit too slow and we get enough card draw already. Cavendish is an okay card that should have the Supernova tag, but it doesn't, so that's fine. And then you're going to be like, oh, he's in Dressrosa, he's not a Supernova. There's a reason for it. Then why does this one have all 3 tags, right? Like this one has Dressrosa, Supernova, and Beautiful Pirate. So I don't know why the 4-drop didn't, but regardless, that's okay. If it had it, I'd play it. Because it doesn't, we don't play it. Jozu is really good if you play like more of the Nojiko like tempo variant of this deck, which we're not playing, but that's there. Newgate is really interesting. So if you play this, you get to add the top card of your deck to your life, look at all the cards into your life, rearrange it, put one card to the top of your deck, and then since the card left your life area, you get to see what card you draw, right? So it's a really cool consistency piece that I haven't tested, but I do think it's good. If you don't like to play the 6/7 Law, I think this is a great substitution for it as well. So I think this card is very good. We also have Kairos, which is just an okay card. This card has Dressrosa, and it makes sense that it has Dressrosa. But this being able to just be a 7/9 that's able to get rid of a 5 cost is good. And then also the 8-drop Luffy. This is a secret rare from this set. It's kind of meant to be used with Nami, right? So you can trash one card from your hand, return up to one character with a cost of 4 less to the owner's hand, then give up to 1 Rested Dawn to your leader or one of your characters. Most of the time during these games, I had like a 1-drop new Luffy or like a Nojiko on the board for the entire game. So being able to use this to get that back to my hand and then attack 6 with leader, then 8 with this could be good, right? So I don't think this card is bad. I'm just not playing it right now. And then a couple extra events. 0 cost event I think makes sense, but I didn't really find a time to use this because our leader essentially has this effect baked in for the counter effect, and we don't really put cards into our life, so the cheesy like last life is pretty it's we put it there. Damned Punk is just a searchable way to get removal, right? Since it is a Supernova's card, right? You rearrange cards, but they don't leave the life area, so we don't get the card draw from our leader effect. It'd be broken if we did, but we don't, so that's fine. But the trigger effect is still very good. And then we also have Gravity Blade, Raging Tiger, which if I think like I didn't test it all day, so I don't know over like 20 matches, but Teach could be a very good deck against us because literally every card of our deck says on play in one point or in the other. So because of that, it can be really tricky for us to really set up on any of our plays. I think we still are okay since we do draw a lot of cards, and there are ways to do that. Even like 5-drop Luffy to be able to like get some draw or like be a 5/8, like it's not like unwinnable, but it would be kind of tricky I think for that. So we'll see if that's the case or not. 8-drop Kid being able to get like its end of turn effect is really good. Red Rock being able to get rid of 10 drops too. But if Teach is any good in this format, Nami would definitely fear that deck, I think, at least this build of it, because we're really reliant on those cards. So if that's the case, I can definitely see like 8-drop Luffy being a little bit more important, since that could be a way to interact with it. It could be something where we take out a copy of Law and something else to be able to do that, but by and large, I think this deck is pretty good, and I was really surprised with how fluid it felt. Like I was worried, like, is this the cheese deck that we're gonna end the day on? But instead, I ended up just being the deck that I had a lot of fun with. So here's the build. Again, if you guys want to see some gameplay, it's linked in the description as well. Thank you guys for watching this, and also people watching this live. I really do appreciate the support for this one. It was a lot of fun, and OP11's been a lot of fun just testing kind of new stuff and just to see what the kind of format looks like as well. So that's going to be it for us. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you all next time. Also, thank you for all the egg emotes in chat. Do appreciate it. All right, bye-bye. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.